Yesterday, I had mentioned about how Gravity and Deathrun were sort of inverses of each other when it came to their orientation. Gravity played with verticality, and Deathrun with horizontality. With that in mind, I figured that the next best place to stop would be Deathrun, so here we are. Deathrun is by no means a perfect game, but I'm gonna put it out there, I think it's objectively one of the best casual games on the Hive. It's not the best game on the Hive by a long shot, but it's still important to appreciate that for as far as laid-back games go, Deathrun is definitely an example of something you should model after. Now, I am aware that Deathrun's player count isn't anything astonishing or even remotely great, but let's take a moment and realize that player count isn't everything. You can take the number of players into account when basing it off of incline or decline over an interval, but otherwise, we're gonna just leave that here and move on. Deathrun earns its merit as a casual game, and a very good one at that, immediately just from its concept alone. It's super straightforward, so casuals understand it quite easily. In fact, a few videos ago, I talked about how the bridge was the most straightforward. Well, Deathrun would definitely be up there too. It's pretty simple. You get from point A to point B, and you avoid traps along the way. With deaths, all you're trying to do is wait at a certain trap and use it at the right time. More players you kill, better you're doing. Nobody wants to use their brains to compute every piece of information that they load into their head. Some things are meant to be simple, and Deathrun follows that to a T. Despite its simplicity, however, you might think it's a turnoff to players who aren't casuals, but that's not entirely true. If you're looking to spice up the challenge a little bit, look no further than the thing that you hold in your hand for the duration of every round, the leap. Now, at the end of the day, Deathrun's not just about avoiding traps and making it to the end. It's about challenging yourself, looking for ways to better your time on each and every course. Speaking of which, could you allow us to see our best times in each Deathrun map? That'd be a really small but helpful feature. Thanks, Hive. The magic here is setting sights on a challenge that you've made for yourself, not the game making for you. If you want to better your time, you're going to have to strategize ways to do it. And Leap is the key to that. It's such a simple item on paper, but it can be used in complicated ways that can make the world of difference for you, the player. The ability to discover these really creative shortcuts as the player is what unites the casual player base with the more advanced player base here in Deathrun. There's plenty of room to try your heart out when it comes to a game like this. If you want to be a sweat, buddy, you be a sweat. And it goes beyond just appeasing player bases. Deathrun has some of the best selections of maps I've seen in a Hive game ever. If you're able to draw an image in your head what these maps look like, just as I list them, you're proving my point. School, temple, village, survival, synthwave, gardens, prison, cave. If you remember those maps just by me saying them, then that means that Deathrun is doing a great job with diversifying and making sure every map is as memorable and unique as possible. Now, not every map is going to be a winner. A lot of people don't like Western for some reason. Toys is overrated and way overplayed, solidifying my genuine hate towards it some days. But we can all agree that there's enough variety in the game to keep the game from getting too stale. There is one last thing I really love about Deathrun that no other Hive game can seem to achieve quite as well. Do you ever just have a super stressful day where you need to kind of sit and unwind for a bit? Because if you do, Deathrun is your absolute best buddy in command when it comes to that. I want to assume that we're all human here, right? Unless there's a cat watching. Because if there is, listen here, I don't have catnip, piss off, get out of here. But we're all humans and we all have bad days from time to time. And Deathrun, because it is so simple to play and to understand, it gives us time to autopilot, to sort of dig into our head and make sense of what might be bothering us. To me, that's one of the best things about Deathrun. It's so simple, so straightforward, both in execution and in concept, so when we need to unwind, this is a great game to go to, and it is for one of the many reasons why I would say Deathrun is the best casual game on the Hive.